Hello and welcome to the week one edition of the Monster Pod here on thelines.com. Yes, it's a new season, and with that we get a new name and a new partnership, as you see if you're watching us over on the video side of things. Cannot wait to get through all these games. Football finally here. I know everybody out there been waiting on it, so let's get right into it. Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons across the odds board right now. Mainly 3.5s. There is one expensive 3 out there in favor of the home Falcons. 42.5 is the total out there in the market right now. We know what we're kind of dealing with here. It is two different teams with two new quarterbacks, two guys that have a lot of expectations one way or the other, whether it's to fail on the Pittsburgh side of things or if it's to win a division over on the Atlanta side of things. Ryan, you're joining us here on the pod. I want to kick things off with you. I don't know how high you are on either one of these teams. I have an incredible amount of Falcons futures tickets. I'm pretty high on this team top to bottom. I think the one thing that they really did need was just a quarterback in order to kind of easily be the best team in that division. Steelers, I didn't really have a ton of opinion on. I don't know whether Russell Wilson has completely lost his fastball or not. While I believe that he has, I also think that maybe you were in a situation there where your head coach didn't really want you last year. And so maybe it was just a really bad time, really bad situation. We got the Steelers Falcons sitting about 3.5 right now.
We're burying the leads. The Arthur Smith Bowl gets to get started there. And it was just actually fascinating. I mean, look, the Steelers have an identity at least, right? So regardless of what we think of them, we at least kind of know based off of what they've done in the offseason, how they use their draft capital, how they approach free agency is they want to run the football. And they have obviously an offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith who loves to do that, loves to stick the ball in the belly of his backs. The problem is they're starting off in a very, very bad spot because they are missing 3 interior offensive linemen to start the season, at least for this game. Nate Herbig is out. Isaac Samoa is going to be missing probably at least the first 2 weeks. And then Troy Vatanu, who they used their first round pick on, all set to miss the opener in Atlanta. And then, we were kind of picking on the Falcons in the offseason around the draft time. Like, hey, look, actually the strength of your defense is probably the interior defensive line. You need some edge rushers. But that's actually a perfect matchup for what is going to be a problem for the Steelers here. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for the Falcons to be able to stop what the Steelers want to do. And I think we've seen that reflected in the line, right? This hung out basically all summer at 2.5. We did like an early show on Move the Line talking about like kind of our first looks, and the Falcons at 2.5 seemed to me like, hey, if the Falcons are who we think they are, they should probably take care of business less than 3 at home against the Steelers. Now we've kind of cooked out to 3.5, which I think makes a ton of sense. The problem is too, like we have a beat up Russell Wilson, right? He's dealing with a calf, probably goes, but like that's a guy that eats sacks like it's breakfast. Yeah. I mean, like his pressure to sack rate last year north of 20%. Anytime you're getting kind of into the 20 range or higher, that's a problem. So they add Matthew Judon. There's probably a trickle down effect of what's going on in the interior offensive line there. So again, wish I would have had a bigger position on 2.5. The 3.5 is a little bit paused, just obviously around the key number there, but still would lean Falcons or nothing.
Yeah, Steven, we take a look at this, and there is an expensive 3 out there if you're looking to play the Falcons. We always remind people that if you're paying $120 on 3, you're getting a cheaper price than if you were trying to buy off of the 3.5 or buy on to the 3, whatever it might be. So not the worst thing in the world if you did want to pay $120 on the 3. My feelings on this Steelers team. I think that this is going to be the first. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it or not, but Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. I don't know if is that true? Maybe, maybe that's something you may have heard somewhere along the way in the media, but I think that the streak ends this year for this Steelers squad. I don't think they're going to be god awful, but if I believe in the Falcons the way that I do, kind of like Ryan just said, at home, getting it done against a team that's still kind of beat up here and trying to figure things out, I think the Falcons should be able to handle this thing. I'm fine with paying the expensive 3.
So full disclosure, last week I bet over 40.5. I'm sitting on a little CLV right now. It's sitting at 42, but I do not feel anywhere near as good about it right now as we record Friday morning as we did last week with Russell Wilson popping up on the injury report. He was a midweek downgrade from full to limited participation on Thursday. And for what it's worth, Rap Sheet reports on NFL Network that the Steelers are, quote, unbelievably conservative with calf injuries and would not be surprised if Russell Wilson, quote, is off his feet this weekend and potentially beyond. So I'm not convinced Russell Wilson's starting this game.
Yeah.
And if he's not, and it's Justin Fields, and that makes the market go even further out for the Falcons, we get to like 4. I might bet the Steelers at 4 because I don't know if the Falcons are going to be ready to go and firing on all cylinders with Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles, not playing at all in the preseason here. We are looking at 2 secondaries, especially the Falcons, who came into the season ranked by PFF outside the top 20. So that was the initial genesis of the overbet for me. But if Justin Fields comes in here, and we're going to get a bigger number on Pittsburgh, then I might be interested here. So keep an eye on the Discord, lines.com, top right-hand corner. You can find the Discord button. If I bet it, I'll put it in there.
Ryan, cannot be more excited about this partnership with you guys, and glad to have you on here every other week with us, breaking down football games. Be sure and check out 4 for 4 if you guys have not done so already. Go over there. All of their great work, not only on the betting side, but also on the fantasy side of things. And Steven, as we say each and every week, everything we do absolutely free. So hit that subscribe button, head to lines.com, take a look at everything that we've got going on over there. For Ryan, for Steven, I am Matt. Good luck on all your week 1 bets.